everybody, and welcome back to the Come Play podcast. It's episode 18. There's only three of us here today, but it's me, myself, Tyler, Brendy, and Bobby. Say hello, guys.
Hello guys. I just want to say, damn, you had a lot of energy there. You're like,
You know,
hello.
I'm feeling good today. You know.
Yeah, we just had a really good session of NHL. Let's not forget that. I'm a little spun. I don't know about you guys.
Yeah, I mean,
Pucks,
I'm a little spun.
I mean, you know
pucks
how I
were
was acting
definitely
during
in
that
deep.
game.
Yeah, we got a lot of pucks in deep. I think we had a really good run there.
Yeah.
Personally, I mean that's just me.
Yeah, I mean, you just gotta get the pucks in deep.
Yeah, gotta get the pucks in deep. That's all.
All right, we're gonna start off not on the same foot as we usually do. We usually either do Zach's Thought of the Week if he's here, or we'll go to Quick Fix. But today we're gonna start off with one of the bigger topics of the week. We're gonna recap the AFC and NFC Championship games, and there's a lot to talk about with these games. We'll start off with probably the most controversial game, the Rams versus the Saints. I'm sure you watched the game, you've seen it, and everybody's talking about it, but you're gonna hear our take on it because it's just terrible. Either way, here we go. Rams going to the Superdome. The Superdome. They
No,
go.
not the Superdome.
Oh yeah, the Superdome is where they're going to play though.
No, they're not.
Where do the Saints play? It's a Superdome, right?
They've already played the Saints though.
That's what I said. I said they went into the Superdome.
No, I thought you said that's where they were going. I was like, no, bud.
See, this is why we can't have nice things, okay?
This is why we need to plan more. We suck at this.
Yeah, we do.
I just misheard. You don't need to.
Oh my God, Brendy. I'm gonna give you
listen.
5 seconds.
Don't need to plan on mishearing.
Yeah, but they go in and play the Saints. The last time they played, it was a shootout. This game, a lot more tame. The Saints got out to a 13-0 lead after the first quarter, answered back by the Rams, who come back and make a 13-10 by halftime. Jared Goff was definitely struggling in that first half. I think up till about the end of the first half, Johnny Hecker, their punter, actually had the longest completed pass on the team at that point. He was really struggling. But Goff came back and had a pretty decent game. We go to the third quarter. We go to the fourth quarter. The Rams are down by 3. And then that's when all hell broke loose. We have I will say one thing about these games this weekend. I don't know if the refs were doing the Bird Box challenge or what, but there was a lot of controversy, and I guess we'll just get right to it. Kind of the maybe the biggest non-call in sports history on this play. About 2 minutes left in the game. The Saints are down in the Rams territory in the red zone. It's third down. And I know Brendy's going to bring this up, so I'll bring it up now. They had a first down on like the 10-yard line. They didn't run it, and it was an incomplete pass. So it's second down. Then they get to third down, and on third down, Drew Brees drops back, passes it to, I don't even know who that was. I think that was
Let's clarify something real quick though before we talk about this. The three of us sat here for about 10-15 minutes watching this playback recently in slow motion and everything, as if we were like with CBS.
No, that was the overtime thing you're talking about.
Who was he? Wait. Oh yeah, okay. I'm sorry. I thought that was the third quarter one. My bad.
Yeah. So he drops back. I'm forgetting the receiver's name, but either way, Mikhail Roby-Coleman comes over and smacks him way before the ball gets to him. Watching it right away on the TV, I was like, yeah, that's a penalty, easy. No flags come out. Sean Payton is incensed, which I don't blame him for. And that's kind of been the talk of this whole thing. Everybody's saying the Saints got robbed. They end up kicking the field goal. The Rams come back, kick the field goal, it goes to overtime. But I guess before we get to the overtime, what is, in your opinion? I mean, where does this rank on one like the worst non-call in your opinion?
One. Easily. Number top spot.
In terms of NFL or like sports?
Sports.
I mean, I have to think about all the sports ones, but I would definitely say like top 3 NFL history missed calls for sure.
Yeah, I mean, there's missed calls, which is one thing, but
and then there's that.
I mean, not only was it the most blatant pass interference call of all time, but this is, in my opinion, it decided the game. Now I know it went to overtime, and Brendy has his opinion on that, but they get that PI call. It's first down. The Rams had one timeout left. I think it was after the 2-minute warning, so they didn't have that to stop the clock. They bleed the clock down, kick the field goal or the touchdown, whatever they want, and then the Rams are fighting an uphill battle. Instead they give them about a minute 30 on the clock to do what they did to tie the game. Interesting. After the game, obviously a lot was made of this. You have Sean Payton saying he got off the phone with the league office, and the league basically saying, the refs there screwed up. Which, I mean, that's just a slap in the face if you're Sean Payton, I feel like. I know Mark Ingram was very upset, Michael Thomas. I mean, I'm sure the whole team, Drew Brees.
I just saw Thomas tweet a few hours ago saying, "Hey, Roger, pick up the phone."
Yeah, I seen
he
that too.
is still pissed, and I do not blame him.
And I will, Drew Brees is probably one of the most calm individuals on the field and off the field, and was very respectful about it. He's like, look, I mean, it's a missed call, and we didn't win the game, and it's unfortunate, but yeah, I mean, everybody's very upset about it. And watching the video back, it's even, the more frustrating thing is there's literally 2 refs within 10 feet of that play, 2 of them that missed that call. It's insane. And then Roby Coleman, who was the guy who should have got the PI call, came out and was like, I thought I had it, I thought I got it, but the ref was like, no, incomplete. He's like, all right, sick. Like, that's how it was. Even he thought. I mean, the whole stadium thought that was a penalty. Did any of the refs come out and say like what they saw at the time? So,
I mean, they said they blew it, but did anybody come out and explain? Because that I have not seen yet.
No. So I don't know if he just misspoke or something, but Roby Coleman in his interview said that the ref had said something like the ball got tipped or something, but that's obviously not the case because the ball was I watched it. Yeah, I watched it back afterwards, and there was not even a clue of it being tipped. So I don't know if he maybe misspoke in the interview or something, but it's unfortunate. Because I'll say this, I didn't care who won the game. I was just looking for a good game, but after that happened, I really want the Saints to win because I hate teams losing on things they can't control or stuff by the refs, and that's what happened here, and it's really unfortunate. The Saints in their history have only been the one Super Bowl, which they won, and Drew Brees was on that team, but I don't even know if any of these other guys were even on the team at that time, and it would be their first Super Bowl. It's honestly it was a life-changing call, and I know it's you're fighting for a Super Bowl, but the bonuses you get and stuff like that, like it's a life-changing call, and if it was a play where it was maybe not as obvious or whatever, whatever, but this was the most blatant call of all time, in my opinion.
It's funny because you mentioned the bonuses, but just even like people have trained these guys have trained most of their lives for this, like, and they're that close and they get screwed over by that call. And we can argue, and like you said, we mentioned Brendy and his opinions on what actually blew the game, but you can't argue that it messed a lot of things up. I mean, if that was a call, it's a first down and most likely a touchdown. I mean,
now I'll say this as well. That was not the only missed call in this game. There was a lot of missed calls in this game.
When we get to it, the AFC was no better.
Yeah,
there was just bad officiating all around.
I know there was a face mask on Brandon Cooks that would have got him a touchdown at some point in the game. I think they ended up scoring that anyway, but still. There was another PI call that should have been called on Roby Coleman. They didn't call. It was a lot of bad officiating. I thought it's weird because you watch these games and it seems like more and more there's like flags on the field every play. In this game, I actually thought there wasn't enough. There, there just wasn't enough calls for me when there should have been. Very poorly officiated game. And like I said, it's unfortunate, but yeah, that's when we had the overtime. The Saints get the ball. So in my head, I was like, Drew Brees is not going to be happy about him being in overtime right now. He's going to drive down the field. And on I think it was a 2nd and 16, Drew Brees drops back. I don't know who I think it was. I want to say. Do you guys remember what number it was who got to him? I don't remember off the top of my head because
I can't remember. I just remember he got the offensive lineman just got beat on a sick
Traquan
spin
Smith.
move.
There you go. So, yeah. So I mean, he drops back. It gets hit. The ball flutters up in the air, and the defensive back for the Rams catches it, picks it off, and then you know, uh, we this is what we're talking about. We looked at it for a long time because we were thinking maybe it got tipped. What we kind of decided as a group was, Michael Thomas was the receiver that was closest to it when the ball fell, but he was not the receiver it was going to. It was going to the guy behind him, and Breeze just got hit as he threw it, and it's bad for the Saints because if he got it to him, he might have been gone.
The site for that is just look at the ball height is what I pointed to the most, because I mean, so yeah, Michael Thomas is standing next to the defensive back who ended up getting the interception, but the ball going that high, if it wasn't hit, would have went way over Michael Thomas's head. And Traquan Smith actually had an open area in the back. He had his defender beat, I guess, on a slant route somewhere up there. I don't know. To me, that looks like it was going to Smith, no doubt about it, no question. And then it was just a good defensive play by one of the DLs, and it was just great play. You can't really argue with a great play.
Yeah. It was that, like Brendy said, that spin move was sick. And to get to it, but my whole thing is it shouldn't have gotten to that point, and I know I'm not even a Saints fan. You know what? I feel very bad for Saints fans because last year you have the Minnesota Miracle in the last seconds of the game where they
Losing
lose.
to Case Keenum.
Yes, it's a fucking Case Keenum. Yes, and then the next year that sucks. Yeah, it's pretty unfortunate, but yeah, John Johnson was the guy that got the pick, and yeah, it's like I said, it's unfortunate, but the next play, Jared Goff makes a very nice throw to Tyler Higbee, they get the first down. Eventually, it comes down to I don't know, it was I think it was a 57 or 59, something like that, yard field goal from Legatron. And that kick could have been good from probably 67. It had a lot on it. They win the game.
And it was a terrible snap, by the way.
Yeah, Johnny Hecker did a very good job of, doing his job and getting that down. So, yeah, it's like I said, I mean, the talk of the game afterwards was, of course, the controversial call, and I don't blame anybody. Like I said, it's a tough one. But talking about other things from this game, interesting. What's going on with Todd Gurley? Is he hurt? What's going on? Only got 4 carries this game, for 10 yards, and he had 2 drop passes, one that got picked off by the Saints, on a deflection. And C.J. Anderson, I mean, he didn't have a great game, but he got majority of the touches, 16 carries for 44 yards. A lot of people are he was on the sideline doing like kind of stretchers and stuff like that, so we'll have to monitor that. But yeah, Brandon Cooks having a good game, 107 yards, and then on the other side,
Someone's saying they're paying Todd Gurley X million dollars to train for the Tour de France.
yeah, because he was on the bike all day yesterday.
Yeah, he was on the bike.
Um, but yeah, one thing I will say, just on the Saints side, I know this is kind of random, but Alvin Kamara might be the most dynamic running back in the NFL. He was as a receiving back, I should say, because he was literally he led the team in receptions by a landslide yesterday. He had 11 receptions. The next closest guy was Michael Thomas at 4. They had him coming out of the backfield. I know the Rams must have just been getting sick of it because then they started doubling him. But yeah, I mean, Alvin Kamara is a very good player, and that was a nice pick out of Tennessee, Brendy's college there. So yeah, like I said, very unfortunate, but Rams do move on to the Super Bowl, and we'll play the winner of the AFC game. It was the Chiefs versus the Patriots. 2 games that went into overtime in the championship games has never happened before. This game also goes into overtime, and the Patriots end up winning it. There's something that I can't even fathom, and this is me and Bobby me being a Broncos fan, Bobby being a Pats fan. It's kind of insane. The last 6, well, including the one that's going to happen, the last 6 Super Bowls will be the AFC representative will either be the Broncos or the Patriots. The last 6 years, the last AFC team to make the Super Bowl that was not the Broncos or the Patriots were the Ravens when they played the 49ers in the Super Bowl in 2013.
God, I remember that Super Bowl. And how much things have changed from the 49ers and the
Yeah,
Ravens perspective. Dear
I
God.
mean, that's what I'm saying. It's been the AFC has been run by the Broncos and the Patriots.
Don't remind me, by the way.
I mean, playoff-wise, I should say, the playoffs have been run by the Broncos and the Patriots. The 3rd straight year for the Patriots. Tom Brady. Let me ask you this question, and I know this is going to be funny coming from me because with the conversation we had, I think it was the hot take game we played, and I was talking about Aaron Rodgers and stuff with Tom Brady. But is Tom Brady the most dominant athlete of all time, like sports-wise, team-wise? Like he's. I think he is.
I don't know.
I don't think so. I think I definitely like NFL, no doubt. I would say no doubt in the NFL, but in sports or like at least North American sports, I doubt it.
I'm actually gonna say no to this, just because who's the next name after Tom Brady as to what the Patriots' success comes from? Who's the next person?
I mean, Bill, but
right, but okay. So if we're talking about across all sports, and the NFL probably. If we're talking about across all sports, can you honestly name all of LeBron's coaches?
Yeah, no.
Or Michael Jordan's?
Look, I'm saying and I'm not obviously I say athlete, but like I'm not talking about. I'm talking about his accomplishments. I mean, 8 straight AFC Championship games. Are you serious?
Yeah,
okay, but that's not being a good athlete though. That's being good at your sport.
Well, but that's
do they not go hand in hand?
That's what I mean. I'm talking.
It's not entirely. It doesn't make you a good athlete. It just makes you a good athlete at the sport.
I mean, I think they kind of go hand in hand. And yeah, you can be a good athlete, but not necessarily good at your sport. But when you're talking about somebody who's good in their sport, you call him a good athlete. What
I'm trying to say is I think he's the most dominant figure in sports, in my opinion. Like if you're talking about success wise.
That's a tough question. I mean, even for me, that's hard to answer. I mean,
okay.
I have a bias, obviously. I mean, I've said this over and over again. I mean, Tom Brady is one of those quarterbacks who you can put a 10-year-old out in the middle of the field and he'll still get the ball to him somehow. You know what I mean? Like, it doesn't matter. I mean, so there's that, but
I mean,
it wasn't just him who carried the Patriots to their success, which is the only asterisk when it comes to his resume. Yeah, no, but his resume's ridiculous. 8 straight.
So So I
Careers don't
will
even last that
say,
long sometimes.
I will say, in terms of accomplishments and success, like he's probably the best athlete in terms of that. But in
Yeah,
terms of
that's what I'm
overall,
saying.
in terms of overall like athleticism, like probably not.
Oh no, for sure. I'm talking about just being dominant in what he
Okay,
does.
I thought you were specifically referring to like overall, you know,
No,
like I
no.
wouldn't consider him the best athlete in a broad sense, but I consider him like maybe in like I said in success terms.
Yeah, that's kind of what I'm talking. Now, it's funny you say about Tom Brady hitting a 10-year-old because, well, wow, that sounded wrong.
Tom Brady.
Excuse me?
You
Hello.
know,
You want to say it again?
hitting a 10-year-old for a pass right over the middle because yeah, Julian Edelman is
I just spit on my
he's
computer.
a good receiver. Don't get me wrong, but the Patriots don't have a Michael Thomas, Tyreek Hill, DeAndre Hopkins, Odell Beckham, those guys. They have Josh Gordon, but obviously he's done for the year with what he's going through. Obviously have Robert Gronkowski, but it's just he. Look at these names they have out here. You got I know Chris Hogan's a good player, but he's kind of come out of nowhere. Like Philip Dorsett, Rex Burkhead, Cordero Patterson. Did they succeed anywhere other than New England? I don't think so.
It's the system, dude. I mean,
Oh,
it's straight up the
no, no,
system.
no. No, and I know, and I'll say this too. As good as Tom Brady is, I think Bill Belichick is far and away, not even close, the best coach in sports in all time. Like I
Hmm.
don't even think it's
Oh,
close.
I mean,
No, it's not close. It's just not.
no, it is. No, it is close.
I,
Who,
I,
who's the second name then, Brendy?
Pop.
Yo.
Pop does not have the success that Bill Belichick does, and Bill Belichick is
Okay.
is the best systematic coach out there. You can't change my mind.
Well, no, I would still, I
You
would
have a
still have,
bias.
I would still have Bill number one. I agree. I would have Bill one. But I'm
Oh,
saying, I'm saying it's not as far as you think.
Oh,
I don't know.
man,
I
I
mean,
don't know.
Bill,
If you're comparing apples to oranges, man.
I mean that is
Okay,
true.
well, I'm comparing apple and oranges, but he brings up all of sports, so I have to.
I just feel like the game plan that he can get at. Look, I mean, correct. I might be in the minority here, but I don't think for the team that he has had over the years, and yes, he has Tom Brady, which changes everything. But for the team that he's had over all the success he's had, they're not championship teams. Talent-wise, they're not championship teams. He gets the best out of his players.
Right.
Like I said, dude, Rex Burkhead was the third running back on the fucking Cincinnati Bengals. Cordero Patterson was a draft bust. Philip Dorsett, like, come on, look at these guys. Like, they're even their fullback, James Devlin. Like, he's getting he's unbelievable. I
Well,
wish I had a coach like that.
what's even funnier to me is that so if you're looking at on paper who the Patriots' best offensive receiver is, it's Gronk. On paper, on paper, what has he become this entire season?
Yeah,
He's an offensive lineman.
yeah. I mean, I think Gronk was talking about retiring last year and stuff like that,
and this year.
and to be honest, I think it might happen. Just because
Surprise me.
he looks banged up.
Right, and he's already made his money.
Yeah.
So
And I just think maybe that's slowing him down. But one other guy I want to kind of shout out here is Sony Michel. What a rookie year he's had. Had 113 yards and two TDs yesterday. I mean, he did have 29 carries, so that helps a little bit. But yeah. So that's the New England side, and then as for the Chiefs, man, Patrick Mahomes, he's gonna be a hell of a player for the coming years.
get ready for the $200 million contract. Don't blink. It's gonna happen.
Yeah, for sure. He had 295 yards and 3 touchdowns yesterday. And he's a dynamic player. He really is. Now the talking about Bill Belichick again, the Patriots do a good job. They do this every single time they play. Every single time. They take out the best wide receiver for the other team. They neutralize them. They double them. They'll do doubles during the game. All that. What do you see? Tyreek Hill, far and away. I mean, if you're talking receiver, I know they have Travis Kelce, but as for receivers, Tyreek Hill is their best wide receiver. What did he do yesterday? He had one catch for 42 yards. Um, it's just the Patriots' way. They do not let the best players on the other team beat them, and it's worked. It's worked for forever. It's just I just can't get over it, man.
So can I ask one question? This is something that Twitter has been very bothered about during that entire not during the game, but right before the game and all the build up. The Patriots marketing themselves as the underdogs.
Well, so we talked about this on the last podcast. The last time they were an underdog, in I think it was like the AFC the AFC Championship game or later. It was 2007, and that was the only other time, and it was against the Chiefs. Look, I mean, they can do whatever they want. They won the game, and they're the Patriots. They can literally do whatever they want. You know what I mean? Like, I don't really care.
No, there were so many people bothered by this. I mean, on paper though they were. I mean, if we're looking at it, the record is better on the Chiefs' side. Chiefs got home field.
I mean, are all those people upset? The Eagles fans that were like the underdog bullshit last year? With
Most of them
exactly.
were from Philly. I will say that, and that's again in case any new listeners are here. It's I'm from the Philadelphia area, as is Tyler. So a lot of the people that we follow on Twitter and various other forms of social media are Eagles fans because Philly. So a lot of them were really upset that the Patriots were marketing themselves as the underdog for this, the bet against us and whatever. To which, I mean, to be fair, they were technically right. They technically were the underdog. I think they were the Vegas. I would have to check, but I think they were the underdog for Vegas.
I think the Chiefs were a 1.5 point favorite. I want to say.
Yeah. So I mean, barely, but they were the underdog. I mean, I'm not really gonna defend it. Eagles were definitely the bigger underdog. But yeah, most of the people who are mad about this, I know, were definitely Eagles fans or something like that. But I mean, but there's a. There's no list long enough for the amount of people that hate Tom Brady. And then the Patriots. I mean, they just want to see him gone. At this point, the Twitter and Reddit and everything like that are just full of anybody but Tom or anybody but the Patriots. So
look, I mean, I will say this: I am a Broncos fan, and the Chiefs are probably our biggest rival. But I was rooting for them in this game, and it's not really a Patriots hate per se. I just want to see somebody new in the Super Bowl. But look, you can't look past the success of Tom Brady. And as much shit as Tom Brady gets, he is such a he really is genuinely holy fuck a good guy. They did the post game interviews, and he's just very he'll actually talk to the media and stuff like that.
Me and my dad were talking about this today. Like, everybody hates Tom Brady. Why? Besides the fact that he's a successful, arguably the most successful quarterback of all time. What else do you hate him for?
Yeah, right. I mean, I don't.
The Tuck rule, maybe? I don't know. What is it?
But yeah, I mean, he gets to, like I said, the third straight Super Bowl for the Patriots. Kind of insane. We'll kind of end the recap on this, talking about the refs again. There was some questionable calls in this game too. The one in particular that I'll bring up now, the quote unquote roughing the passer.
That was bad. It was terrible. It was terrible.
Well, what I was gonna say is, you being a Pats fan, when we were in the group chat about this, you're like, I don't even know if I can defend this.
No, I literally said Brendy almost slit my throat because I was unable to watch a lot of both of these games because I was on set for a short film, but I did see that play, and my buddy had it up on his phone while we were on set, and we were watching, and we saw that play. And I was checking my Discord on my phone, and of course Tyler and Brendon and Zach were like, okay, that's roughing the passer. And I'm just there like, that was rough. And Brendy thought I was saying I was agreeing with that call. That was Zach. I'm sorry. Yeah, it was Zach. He was thinking I was saying I was agreeing with that call, which no, I am not agreeing with that. That's a football play. That's football movement. That's not roughing the passer. That's him tapping him on the shoulder to get his attention. That's not like listen to me. I feel like, and I'm not trying to throw the whole fan base under the bus of the New England Patriots. I love them to death. But I'm going to be reasonable about these calls. That was terrible. I'm not going to, I'll take it. I'll happily take the first down. But no, I'm not, that was not the right call whatsoever. I don't know what was going on with that one either. Just the same as the PI call. I don't know what this was. So,
yeah, I mean, and, it's one thing if this would have happened, but literally earlier in the game, it was almost the same exact play, but Mahomes actually got hit in the face, and I don't even think that was roughing the passer, but it's funny how it went the other way, and he hit him on the shoulder. It was really bad. We also had this, and I'll try to keep this brief, and I know you might not have seen it, but the Julian Edelman punt return.
Okay, yeah,
I
have.
Did he touch it? Did he not?
I did see this play. I did see this play.
I'm not going to sit here and say, well, it didn't. He touched it. Whatever. What I am going to say, though, is that's a case where I said there's no way this is getting overturned because the call on the field was he touched it. You can't tell me that they literally reviewed this play for like 10 minutes. You can't tell me you come out of that and say, because they said you have to have what they say is conclusive, clear evidence. They were breaking this, they're on the broadcasters breaking this down, frame by frame. They have close up, you can like see the hairs on his arm, like, and there was nothing that I could tell either way. It's just, it's got to be conclusive. That is where I thought there's no way this is getting overturned, and it was, which was kind of crazy.
It's always the same old, and the color commentators say it all the time, an angle we don't have.
Yeah.
I honestly don't believe that exists. I really don't.
Yeah, I don't know.
I really don't. I feel like the NFL kind of turned over all their video stuff. I mean, NFL Films. Actually, funny enough, in case you didn't know, a little fun fact here, a random fun fact, NFL Films is actually based about 20 minutes from where me and Tyler live in Mount Laurel, New Jersey.
Yeah.
Yeah, I tried to get an internship there.
Crazy.
They were not happy that I tried to apply.
They do a good job there. But no, I mean, seriously, I mean,
it had to be something. I mean, everything I looked at, there was nothing. I don't know. So like I said, I was looking at a 12-inch phone screen. So, take what I say with the grace. I didn't. So you know how when they reviewed the Parkey kick and they found that it was deflected.
Yeah.
So to me, like when you look at the Parkey kick, right, you see the football bend back the fingers of the Eagles defensive lineman. I forget who it is. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I don't know who it is.
Yeah, I forget who. Well, I forget who it is. We're not good with names around here. I didn't see that happen with Edelman. Like that's the thing. Like I don't know. That's what I was looking for every time they were replaying, but I didn't see that.
My first thought, look, I'll say this: I didn't see him touch it, but I didn't see him not touch it. So like, I don't really know. Like, but what I first seen was I seen the ball, it spun different, or it looked like it did, and that's what I kind of thought. I thought that's where I was like, I think he touched it, but. Yeah, and I don't know about but either way, I thought I thought it was tough. There was a couple calls in this game as well where I thought they could have won either way. Either way, the Patriots go to overtime. Patrick Mahomes does not touch the ball, and Brendy drives the team down there as he always does, and gets the W. So we will preview the Super Bowl at the end of the show. All right, and after a short one-day hiatus because of an emergency, we are back, and Zach is with us today. So we are going to start, instead of with quick picks, we'll get to it after. We're going to start with Thought of the Week. So Zach, go ahead.
Thought of the Week mid-podcast, all right.
Wait. You're not even going to tell Zach to say, like, what's up, guys?
No. Cause
No, I'm just coming right in with the fucking.
he's not a dickhead like you are.
All right, whatever. Go on, Zach.
All right, thought of the week. I'm just gonna get right into it. Would you rather chug a 750 milliliter bottle of Jack Daniels, or drink a 20-ounce bottle of hot sauce?
Oh.
So I have a quick question. How much is 750 milliliters? I'm
just
sorry
for-
if that's a dumb question, but
just
I
just for
legitimately don't
reference,
know.
a typical beer bottle is 12.
12 milliliters.
No, 12 ounces.
I'm sorry. Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I was reading about it. 355.
So a 20
you're
ounce
looking at-
Coke, a 20 ounce Coke is 590 milliliters.
Okay.
So
I mean, that's
it would
not
be
too bad.
a little bit more liquor than hot sauce.
So straight just chugging the whole
Yeah,
thing like
downing
one
it.
go.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Jack
Jack
easy.
Daniels or hot sauce?
Jack easy.
I
Easy money.
like hot things though, so I think I could handle it.
I could handle the hot sauce.
I'd probably go with the hot sauce, to be honest, because
Oh, nuts.
dude, I'm a lightweight. Like I'd die.
I like hot sauce though, like a lot. Like so, I think I could do it.
I actually
Like,
don't. I'm
like-
not the biggest fan of hot sauce. I
Like I'd
Jack,
have
though.
to take a massive shit afterward, but like it's cool. Like I'd do it.
Well, I mean, like, drinking that much liquor in one sitting, like I feel like I'd die.
I'd definitely throw up just
I'd
because
get
like,
alcohol
not
poisoning,
not
like-
not so much because I'm
Yeah.
drunk, more because it's just a lot of liquor at
Yeah.
one time.
You think 750 milliliters is enough for alcohol poisoning?
Oh, Jack?
See with hot sauce, it's like okay, yeah, you drink the whole thing and then like you take a shit, but then it's like all right, it's over.
Yeah, and your asshole's fucking on fire.
That is true.
But yeah, but with the Jack thing, it's like all right, well, it's I'll be dead.
You won't be dead. You'll just you'll be in a state for sure.
So I guess it'll be over either way, but you know what I'm saying.
Yeah, I mean, I'd probably still do the hot sauce.
Nah.
I feel like it'd be way less pain.
I'm going Jack. If I'm gonna die, that's how I'm gonna do it right there.
Explain why you do the Jack over the hot sauce.
Well, one, I like Jack. Number one. Number two.
I mean, I like Jack too. But
Yeah, he's talking
that's a
about
lot.
chugging it though.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
that's
know.
that's a lot. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm aware. I'm aware of how much
Shit.
it is. But listen, man, if I'm gonna go out, that would be one of the ways I would want to do it.
Bro, you're not gonna die from drinking 20 ounces of hot sauce.
No, but I might die in the bathroom. I might pull an Elvis. I'll be honest.
And, wow. What did Elvis ever do to you?
He died on the toilet. That's
Yeah,
what
he
happened.
died on the toilet, man.
I know, but you don't want to bring it up like that. Come on.
But it's the truth.
This is not a fact. We do not
Have
endorse
the
fake news on this
too much
podcast.
hot sauce.
Yeah, my final decision definitely hot sauce.
Hot
for
See you in
sauce.
hell, boys.
All
See you
right,
in hell,
okay.
boys.
You got 3 hot sauce and 1 Jack Daniels.
Yeah.
All right.
Now-
well, yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah, I think Bobby's a little
See
crazy.
you in hell. You'll be throwing
Oh, yeah.
up, and I'll be spraying liquid shit at you.
I'm really glad we didn't have a split decision this week.
No, I mean, it should be 4-0, but whatever, that's fine.
Yep.
Yeah.
Listen, you guys are just not on the level that I'm at right now. I mean, my liver is just iron.
Okay. We're gonna move on.
Do you mean?
Oh, are we?
Did
Are
you
we?
mean damaged
You have a
tissue?
liver?
Yeah, I'm gonna move on to the next life after I'm done drinking that 750. But you know,
All right, we're gonna move on to the quick picks. Only a few this week, pretty quick.
no
Quick
shit.
picks are
really. Whoa.
Shut the
News
fuck up.
flash. Where's the breaking news sound effect? Holy shit.
I knew that was
Quick
coming.
picks are quick.
So
Actually, no, they're the hour of the show.
you want to shut the fuck up so I can get to it? Goddamn. All right. This happened I think a week ago now, but it's pretty. There's a point I want to bring up with it because it's pretty incredible how this happened. So, Predators Ryan Johansson was suspended 2 games for what was called high sticking on Mark Scheifele. High sticking is a lenient way to put it. He tried to chop his neck off.
Yeah, it was like a 2-handed sword from an RPG game. Dude, Jesus Christ, man, that's not a high stick. You're trying to fucking chop down a tree.
So he gets 2 games for it, and
2 games.
that's incredible. Like, so the first thing I thought of when I had this was I brought up the list of suspensions this year, and to just compare this to other penalties and why NHL players' safety is very it's very corrupt. There's no easy way to put it. So the latest suspension was the high sticking from Ryan Johansson. 2 days before, Paul Byron got a 3-game suspension for charging. And I seen that, and that was not nearly as bad as this. Then we have a legal check to the head, 3 games for David Backus, one that I know I'm a Sharks fan, but a lot of people did not agree with at all. A 2-game suspension for an illegal check to the head for Erik Karlsson, but the main point of contact. And the first point of contact was the shoulder. And you kind of move on. You got an interference, 2 games. Like, the whole list is 2 games. Obviously, you have the on here as well, the Austin Watson suspension, which was 33 games, got reduced to 24.
I was gonna say, where's the arbitrator for this one?
Yeah, really.
What was the name? I forget the name that we did a report on.
Something Das, Naeem
Das.
whatever.
Naeem Das,
Either
yeah.
way, I look, it's kind of typical that you watch these plays now and you kind of say, all right, what is he getting? My original thought was 5+ games, easy, like not even like easy. I thought maybe like 6-7 games for that, because that the intent looked like it was there. Now I know we all watched the video, so I don't know if you guys will agree with that, but to me it looked like the intent was there. I mean, what are your guys' reactions to only 2 games for this? I guess we'll start off with.
My initial reaction was, first of all, the penalty committed looked very, very intentional. Like almost no doubt that he did it on purpose and he was targeting his head. So, I mean, I think we can all agree the fact that it's only 2 games is pretty ridiculous. I mean, they need to show they need to show more care for player safety than that.
I think I know I'm like interjecting right away, but I was just gonna say I think like a precedent has to be set. Like, it's been so long now, and it's just like it's time after time after time where we're saying that's not enough, and there's just not a precedent set. Like, somebody needs to get suspended for fucking 7-8 games, and and keep that up as consistently suspending people for the right amount of games, but. It does, like the really what doesn't make sense to me is this, the 2 games for Johansson, and then like I said, 2 days earlier the Paul Byron, which yes, it was suspendable. Don't get me wrong, but you can't tell me that that play gets him more games than a chop to the neck. Bobby, I kind of want to go to you because with our history of watching NHL, like I feel like this happens every it's every year. And it's been like that for a while. Like, what? I at this point, I'm like, what has to be done? Like, I don't know.
I wonder if it's kind of case based. I mean, this is a first time offender? Holy crap, I can't talk. First time offender, right? I don't remember a suspension that he had.
I believe this is first time offense.
Yeah, so that might be the bit of slap on the wrist. It might be a little bit of the outlier. I definitely think it was kind of unnecessary, kind of what he did, because when I watched the video, it looks like he didn't like I don't know. It didn't like he didn't turn around, put 2 hands high on his stick, and then like swing like a baseball bat. He kind of just reacted to somebody being on his back, and end up just clobbering the guy in the neck. But you're right with one thing, though. Every year we seem to have this conversation about player safety. But here's the funny thing. When you talk about player safety, the first thing that comes to mind is head hits. You don't really see these type of things happen anymore with the slashing, and you don't even see as much spearing anymore. I have my opinions on all the new slashing rules that have in place. I mean, they've numbed that down quite a bit, and it drives me nuts. But I think I see this as a bit of a kind of a slap on the wrist since he's a first-time offender, and it wasn't like a charging, it wasn't like a head hit, nothing like that. It was still an ugly-looking hit. So what on earth was that?
Just carry on.
Okay. I swear it's always a new ringtone or new oven or something you always get. I swear we've heard like everything. We've heard like every possible noise that can come out of your house at this point on the podcast. It's amazing.
New oven, who dis?
Yeah, new oven, who dis? But yeah, Yeah, it was still a bad play. Is 2 games the right amount? Not sure. I think the reason for 2 games happening was just because he was a first-time offender, and next time if he does anything stupid, we might see them throw the book. But I'm sure that's what it is.
I mean, I just sorry to cut you off,
No, you're good.
but I mean, we keep saying that over and over and over again with Tom Wilson, and it hasn't happened.
Tom Wilson by itself is a special case. He's the guy who's slipping money to the guys in the penalty box every time he gets in there. Like, yeah, he doesn't make sense. You would think that the NHL would use a guy like him to be the example of, hey, don't be like this guy because this guy's a dick. Like,
Yeah.
you were like, don't be like this guy or we're going to throw the book. But they still have yet to really throw the book at him. Yeah, they gave him a pretty lengthy suspension at the beginning for a hit in the preseason. Like I said last time, which, Jesus. Here's the funny thing. It seems like he's still seen as a good player, though, because, I mean, look at the extension the Caps gave him in the offseason. Like, what in the world?
I mean, I know it's
God.
excuse me, I know it's over talked about, but he's one of those like it's a cliche at this point, but he's one of those players you love to have on your team, but don't want to play against kind of
No.
thing. Now, just the other point I kind of want to make to this, and with what we talked about, previously, with obviously the non-pass interference call in the playoff game, and it just seems like more and more like and look, I'll say this: it's a fast game out there for all the sports, and I know I personally think refs sometimes they're over criticized, but in this game after that play, he got a 2-minute penalty for that. It wasn't even a 4-minute, a double minor, or a major. It was a 2-minute penalty, and it just seems like more and more like it's just refs are. Look, it's an extremely tough job. I'm not taking anything away from that, but how, that's only a 2-minute penalty, and at least you got a suspension for it, but only being 2 games, I think that's pretty rough.
It's the same thing that goes on with the NFL, where there's no clear. It seems like so the NFL, obviously we've been critical of this podcast already. Just how the rules are never clear enough for a referee to make a call. In the NHL's case, it's never clear enough what calls for a suspension and how long that suspension should be, and it's every year. Every year.
It's every time, yeah.
It's every single time. Like, I seriously, how is Tom Wilson not even out of the league at this point with the amount of suspensions and the amount of just dirty plays that he's had? I'm all for, and I hate that my own team ruined this word. I love gritty hockey, all right? But there's a line, and that guy is just being a goon out there. It's you got to watch out for those type of things. Those type of plays are the same as those head hits that you're trying to get rid of. If that would have been him throwing a shoulder into somebody's head, he would have been gone for 12 games, even if he was a first offender. But a stick is no better. A stick is no better. I've taken them. Trust me. They don't tickle, my dude. Like,
I mean, I feel like that's just one of the most vicious high sticks I've seen in a while,
Yeah.
and to only get 2 games out of that is kind of insane to me. But
Yeah,
I'm sure, unfortunately, we'll have another discussion at some point this year about how a guy should have gotten more, because that seems to be the MO of the National Hockey League and NHL player safety. But we'll move on to. Am I surprised by this next topic? No. There is 130. I had the number. 135 college football players are bypassing their final years of college eligibility to go to the NFL draft. Out of those 135, I believe 103 are underclassmen. And now the NFL is different than the NBA in that there's the NBA, you can do the one and done rule with college basketball. In college football, that's not the case. You do have to play. You can't just leave your freshman year or whatever. But this is a lot of guys, and it seems like more and more this is kind of the case where they're ready to throw their college education and everything away to go pro. When some of these guys will be like might not get drafted. What? The question I'll ask is, does something? I'll put it this way, and I'll put it to college basketball as well. Do you guys think that there should be a rule where you have to play out your whole college eligibility. I know it'll probably never happen, but there's talks in the NBA about increasing the one and done rule. The one and done rule. So, like, what's your opinion on that?
So I'm just gonna say this really quickly. I think it. So, okay, so in terms of the NFL, so I don't necessarily think they should play out their entire eligibility, because then at that point I just feel like the NCAA is just using them to make more money than they already have.
All right.
I quite honestly I think the NFL they probably do it better than. Also, I don't know what it is like with the NHL in terms of college and whatever. I know, but I know with the NFL, it's you have to be at the college, like whether or not you play, you have to be at the college for a minimum of 3 years. So like you can redshirt, your first 2 years if you wanted to, but then like just only play like one full season of football and you'd be eligible for the draft. In the NBA though, it's obviously it's interpreted as one and done, where you go to college for 1 year, which is technically incorrect. It's you have to be 1 year removed from high school, but it's like what else are you gonna do in that time, right?
Yeah.
I will say the NBA, I feel like definitely needs to change that. One thing I've thought about, and this just specifically for basketball. You guys can bring up some other points, but for in basketball, for like high school players, in my opinion, like if you want to go get drafted by an NBA or like if you want to declare for the NBA draft as a high schooler, that's fine, but that shouldn't lose your college eligibility. But if you do choose to go to college, you should stay for at least 2 years. That's my take.
Well, I mean, I know there is talks about that. Well, I say that, but I feel like there is every year, because I know a lot of people are not happy with the one and done rule. I don't know. I mean, the NFL does it better, but it's just, to me, like Zion's gonna go to the draft this year and be the number one pick, right? And the kid is how old? He's gonna be, I think he's 17 or 18 years old right now.
Not sure.
That's that's pretty crazy to be playing in the NBA. Like I said, I think the NFL does it better, but some of the names going to the skipping their eligibility. You got Rodney Anderson, the running back from Oklahoma. You got Miles Boykin, wide receiver, Notre Dame. Marquise Brown, wide receiver. Obviously Joey Bosa, who will probably be the number one pick. There's a lot of these guys. Rashawn Gary from Michigan.
You mean Nick Bosa?
Who did I say? Oh, I said
You
Joey
said
Bosa.
Joey.
His brother, yeah. Nick Bosa. So I mean these are. I will agree with one point you said about the NFL and stuff the NCAA making more money off these guys than they already are, because Nick Bosa's a high impact player, and a lot of these guys coming out of college are high impact players for their colleges, and they're gonna do really well at the next level. So I kind of agree with you there, because you're kind of holding a guy back when he's ready for the next the next step. But it's just when I'm looking through sports articles for this week's podcast, 135. That's a lot of players, and like I said, most of the not all these guys may get drafted, and it's just it's
right,
it's crazy.
because like that's 135 underclassmen that have declared, and that doesn't even take into consideration the players that are automatically eligible.
Yeah, right.
Like the seniors and stuff.
Right.
Do we think like something like a developmental league would help with this kind of thing?
Well,
I don't think so.
Think of how like the NHL kind of works. Like let's take Joel Farabee for example. Drafted by the Flyers in the Flyer system, but he's still in college playing.
Yeah. So I know. It might have been like one of our first podcasts or something. We were talking about how the NBA to kind of we were talking about the alternative to college, and they were going to do like the G League where the players would make 100K. Um, and you have as much as people probably joke about it and stuff like that, like LeVar Ball with the league he's doing and stuff like that. So like
The
I think.
JBA.
Yeah, and I know maybe it's a joke or whatever to some people, but look, I mean, people are coming out and making these leagues, and I will agree with Bobby. Like I think the NHL does it very well because a player who gets drafted, has a couple of different options. If they are in college still, they can get drafted but still play their years at college. If they are a Canadian hockey player who played in the Canadian Hockey League, they are eligible to play in the Canadian Hockey League till I believe they're 20, I want to say, or it's either 20 or like how many years they've played. It's something like that. But it gives them an option, and then even after that, they can go to the AHL. Like there's a lot of development. I feel like, especially with the NFL and NBA. I mean, the NBA have the G League and stuff like that, but the NFL there's no minor leagues, right?
I have an idea.
Okay.
Let's have the AFL partner with the NFL and be the developmental.
I mean that like I'm not kidding. Like there's I don't want to say reports, but there's ideas, I guess, that the NFL may make a league where that's the case. Like there's the NFL, you got practice squad, and that's basically it to stay on a roster if you're not on the roster, right? So, I think something like that may be very beneficial. I think so, at least, because these guys, if they're not good enough to make the team, they might go in a loop for a while where they're kind of in a bad state. So. I don't know. I agree with that, but like I said, it was a crazy number, like 135. 135. That's a lot of players. So I mean, that was kind of the first thing I thought. But yeah, like I said, I think maybe doing a developmental league, like you said, Bobby. I think that might be a way to go. And eventually, but will that happen? I don't know, because I feel like the NFL is a little bit stingy with that. But our next topic here for our quick picks is the NBA and 2K. I gotta say, out of all the video games out there right now, 2K with the NBA series they've had forever now, they might be doing it the best out there. The things they're doing. 2K and NBA have just agreed to a deal estimated at more than $1 billion. Now, I say they're doing everything right because I don't know if we talked about it on the podcast before, but I know we've kind of discussed it as a group where they have the I forget what it's called. It's like it's like associations or something where they have like it's basically like a team play thing, where you can get like your squad and make a team and stuff like that, and they have big events all around the country and stuff like that, all around the world.
They're linked to the NBA. So there's a Sixers
Yeah.
esports team. There's a Raptors. I don't know how many teams. I don't think every single one has one, but yeah, I mean I know specifically the Sixers have one, and yeah, it's like your typical esport except it's with 2K.
Yeah, and I mean, esports has gotten over the years. It's a very big thing now. And I always thought 2K. I wish they made the NHL games. I really like. I mean, they used to make the NHL games back in the day.
That 2K feel is something else, man. It is such a different game. I always preferred the 2K over the EA back in the day, man. 2K10 baby on the PS2, hooked up to my big like 60-inch TV and playing online. Oh god, days, man.
So I do have a question. Like, why did they stop doing like NHL 2K?
Probably because I would have to look this up.
Because I remember one year, it may be 2K11, where it was a Wii exclusive for some reason.
It was the last ditch.
I would have to look into it, like Bobby said, but I would imagine it was because EA either, told them to like back off or like, bought the franchise away from them.
They were probably losing.
Partnering with NHL and stuff like that. Yeah, that I would imagine that EA kind of took over in terms of like losing.
Because I will say like NHL 9, 10, 11, like those were like I feel like some of the best.
I mean, the thing with like the NBA games is I have it, and look, online's cool. Like that's I like that stuff, and that's kind of I think that's other people's thing more than me, right? But the thing that always drew me was the career mode they have. They have the cutscenes where you can do press conferences, and they have the cutscenes where it's very cool. And they were ahead of their time for that because they've been doing this for years. I remember like God, it had to be like NBA 2K12 or maybe even before that they were doing cutscenes and stuff like that. And they've always done a good job. They have their it's not called Ultimate Team, but my team, they have that over there, and they've always done a good job. I don't know. In my opinion, I think, like I said, in terms of like a partnership, I think this might be the best one out there. They do a great job, and I'm sure they make a hell of a lot of money. I'm sure. So, this deal being over $1 billion really doesn't surprise me. It's excuse me, it's a big figure, but I'm sure these guys will continue to do what they've been doing. And the NBA is, I don't know if it's bigger than the NFL, but the NBA has got to be, if not one, two of the biggest leagues. And I think basketball will one day pass the NFL if it hasn't already in terms of popularity. But like I said, yeah, 2K doing it right there. If we don't have anything else to add with that, we will get on to our big topics, I should say, of the week.
God, I'm fucking ready.
Bobby's got a strong opinion on this one. So, if you follow the NHL or seen clips at all this year, the Carolina Hurricanes have started a tradition that after every home win, they have what they call, I don't know, is it called the Storm Surge? Is that
the Surge or the Storm Surge or something like that?
Yeah, it's, basically what it is after they win, the players go out on the ice, or stay out on the ice, which traditionally teams would do like a stick salute and then get off the ice. But what they do is they'll do this like clap kind of thing with the fans, and then they'll do a celebration, they've been doing it all year, and there's definitely some strong opinions out there in the hockey world. A lot of people hate it. I would probably say a lot more people hate it than like it. But yeah, it's just something new, and like I said, it's brought to this year. So I'll let Bobby take over for a second because I know he has a very strong opinion on this and give his thoughts. But yeah, like I said, there's definitely some personalities out there with some strong negativity toward this. But yeah, Bobby, go ahead.
All right. So before I begin, let's go to my Twitter. So a post appeared on my time. So this has been going on for a while. Brian Burke. He has been a big advocate against this whole celebration thing.
Fucking twat.
So blink this back to him.
I unfortunately don't have the clip because my sound effects board is not working. So I cannot play it, but I will put it in the description. But basically, it was basically him saying, I don't like it. I don't like the Kane celebration. I don't like it. I don't care, and it can't be in the game. Something along those lines.
Hold on, before you continue, sorry. If anybody doesn't know who Brian Burke is, he's one of the grumpiest people in all of life.
I'll refer you back to my previous comment.
He's always been like that. He used to be the general manager for the Flames and the Toronto Maple Leafs. But yeah, like I said, if you don't know this guy, he's always been this way.
Yeah, he's an old timer, everything has to be. Yeah, it is. Here's where I'm confused with his point, and I'll be honest. There's not a lot of context for this full clip. There's a 25-second clip of them talking about it. This is just a 25-second clip that I found on Twitter, and it was posted by Twitter user David Nesco 200. So he posts this, and me feeling a little bit mouthy that day, proceed to go off and say, look, there's no reason for anyone to dislike this. I truly believe that. It's not done during the game, and it keeps the fans up and rocking, something every team can benefit from. So what followed was the first reply I got back was from a user at 2gent4you who said, "What's this guy got stuck up his ass? I want to fucking crunch his face." Which
and if you don't know who 2gent4you is, that's our boy.
Yeah, that's our boy Zach right here.
I will not be crunching any faces. Do not take that literally.
Just okay.
Just want to disclaim that.
The next response I got was from a one Carson Roter at Kodo4Gs, who said, "I actually hate it." By the way, I was getting. I mean, I'm not. 7 likes may not big to some people, but that's more than what I usually get on a tweet. So I was getting a little bit of support for it, but then we have some of the people who were against it definitely replied to me. So one said, "I actually hate it myself. Each to their own opinion when I see it. Makes me look at League like it's the amateur hour and not as competitive as I like to view it. I'm not against having fun, but this looks ridiculous in my opinion. Disagree if you want, but can't make someone like it." Okay. So which I said, at the end of the day, I respect all opinions and I see your point. To me, this is a fresh way for players to be connected to the fans. And like I said, I would hate this if this was done after a goal or something mid-game, but if it's after a win, I do not see the harm. And I had one more reply from a one Reimerholics. These are both Leafs fans, by the way, according to their bios. So I like this one. As much as a dumbass Berkey is, he is right. This is pee-wee hockey stuff. He was also right about Leafs shouldn't have signed Nylander to his current contract. Okay, first of all, you're bringing Nylander into this conversation, which is so irrelevant. I do not even know why you said that, but okay. To my point. My point why I read that is obviously I'm getting some disagreements, and there are some people who are supporting in the matter. Here's the way I see it. Right. I was one, before the NFL legalized step into the NFL for a second. Before the NFL legalized the whole celebration thing, and they wouldn't throw a flag every time somebody, would just jump up and down for a minute. I wasn't a big fan of celebrations either, because to me it looked exactly like what the Colts did when they were playing the Patriots when they were down like 20 some points, and then they got a touchdown and they did like a team celebration in the end zone. Like, to me, that's kind of dumb, right? Like to me. Like that's where it's like, why? Like, why? But I've kind of grown to like the celebrations that happen after a touchdown now. And the same goes for this. I think what the Canes are doing is not harming anything. It really, I'm all for a competitive, serious game, but what I think is important, like, this isn't just like the fun aspect, like, oh, they're just having fun. No, here's how I'm looking at it, right? You have people in those stands who are paying sometimes obscene amount of money to sit and watch you play hockey. Right, and especially in hockey, with how cookie cutter it is in the NHL, with the responses, like we make fun of it all the time. Like, all the NHL players at every post game interview is exactly the same thing. Oh, we have to get pucks in deep. Oh, we have to make the better plays. Yep, thanks. Yeah, all that stuff. We make fun of it constantly, and it's because it's true. There's no personality to a lot of these players, right? Like, the only thing that we can even possibly gain anything from is either one, if they're a dirty player like Tom Wilson or Brad Marchand, right? You see them on the ice chirping the whole time. Or if there's somebody good and fast and deaky like McDavid or Crosby, or the Sellies. I think the Sellies says more for who they are personally than anything else they do on the ice. I really do. And to me, right, you're giving the fans a piece of who that team is, right? Who they're watching play on the ice. And it's a connection between the team and the fans I think is severely overlooked. I think this is amazing. Like, and they're not doing it after a loss. And they're not doing it mid-game. It's literally, to me, it is no different than putting the sticks up in the air, really. It's just, okay, let's have a little more fun with it. Let's make it different. Let's make it creative. Let's make it unique. I just don't see a problem here. You want the connection with those type of fans. That's just what you want. I don't know why anyone would really hate it. I get it. It's old school, maybe seen as pee-wee hockey, whatever, but I think you're missing the big thing that this gains when they're doing it. I think it's the connection they have with the fans.
People that hate the celebration are old people who hate fun.
Yeah, and I don't. It's weird for me because I fought with myself with this for a little while because it's like, well, I've come to kind of like the NFL celebration, so I want to like the NHL ones. You know what I mean? Like I can't have it both ways. And to me, if you're doing the stupid celebrations that we do in NHL, like if I see the worm out there like that Brendy does, like I'm gonna like want to shoot myself.
Look in the ice
yeah, the look in the ice or the rowboat. Like no, I'd probably lose it too, but. To me, they do it. To me, they do it the right way. They do it at the right time, and I just don't personally see a problem with it. I respect the other people's opinion, and I'm glad I at least got some answers from other people, and I was able to bring that on the show today. But I just don't see what you're picking at here. I really don't know what you're hating exactly.
So I will say one thing that you're right on one thing. Like there's a time and a place for celebrations. Like I cannot stand when a team is down fucking NFL 28 points and they make a play. They pick somebody off. They're down 28 points. There's 2 minutes left in the game. They're celebrating like they won the Super Bowl. I cannot stand that. But
I love it.
Because I hate it because there's no point in doing it. You lost the game. But look, the Carolina Hurricanes, they do it after wins. Like it's all about kind of the time and the place.
You don't like watching. You don't like watching people make a fool out of themselves on national TV.
I mean, there is that aspect to it, but I just think it's really dumb.
Here's the thing. There's just real quick. I don't mean to cut you off, but there's something to be said, and this is where the other part of it comes in, that the celebrations are kind of the new way to pump the team up. To me, and I haven't played in any organized athletics for a while now, but to me, I make a good play, but we're still down, X amount of points. My first thing is, okay, good, we're good. Now let's take this. Let's go. Like we're not done. We're not finished here. Yeah. Let's keep going. I'm not jumping up and down doing the Egyptian up on the field or on the ice. From a good goal, good interception, whatever. You know what I mean? Like that's that's just me. I don't know.
So, being a hockey fan as long as I have, I know why this is a problem. It should, and well, Zach kind of said it earlier about it being old people, kind of like this. But, and I've said this before, a majority of hockey, of the upper management of hockey, are old white people, and management, analysts for that as well. Like there's a lot of in there too. The hockey community has been like this forever. If something new and fun comes in, people hate it. I don't know what it is. It's been like that for my whole life. Or if it's a new rule that a new thing. For example, the NHL All-Star game with the 3-on-3. When that got said that was going to happen the following year, there was so much backlash for it.
I was no reason. So excited for that. Are you kidding me? That's the only way that makes sense. The 5-on-5 doesn't even mean anything. So just let them play 3-on-3. Which, if you sit there and tell me that 3-on-3 is not more entertaining than 5-on-5, you are out of your freaking mind. You really are.
Yeah.
It is. You put the best players on the ice out there in a 3-on-3 format where you had all the ice in the world to work with. You cannot say it's not entertaining hockey. Okay, I'm sorry. Go continue.
No,
Jesus.
But I mean that's what it is, and also all these takes with rule changes because and I don't know if it has to do with the age of social media, but guys will post on social media an idea of a rule change or something, and guys are attacking them like, no, it's it's not the way of the game, blah blah blah. Like it's been like this for I'm not surprised by this. I'm really not. Like I'm not surprised by the backlash because this is what the hockey community does.
There's not a lot of rules I would want to change. Like the talk that nobody really wants to talk about is the idea of fighting in the game and removing it. To me, I want fighting in there until the end of time. That's just me, right? Like I get it. I get why they're doing it, but to me, eliminating fighting is not the way to go. Like sort of some things I'll be a little bit conservative on in terms of what the rules are in hockey, but to me, let them have a little bit of fun for God's sake. Like and to me, like I said, this isn't even as much of the fun aspect as it to me is just showing the fans like who exactly they are, who the guys they're watching on the ice are. Because I mean, at most of the time, because of the wide camera angles and the seats you may have probably in the nosebleeds, you're just looking at numbers. You're not looking at anybody's faces. You might as well get a good look at them in the middle of the ice after the game. That's just me.
And I think the NHL YouTube page posts almost every celebration they have after they win, which it's funny in itself because you go through the comments and it's toxic. But
You know they're doing it on purpose because they know they want to piss everybody else off. I mean, there's no we talk about this all the time. There's no such thing as bad publicity. So the more they do this and the more interaction they get, YouTubers say this all the time. Whenever a YouTuber uploads a video and they get a ton of dislikes on it, like, well, yeah, cool, you disliked my video, but I still made money off of those engagements, by the way.
Yeah, really.
So
no, but I mean, like I the last one they did, I've seen this like for sure, but it's been like this before. Like, you look at the fans in the crowd, like they're genuinely excited to at the game, like they're a part of this thing, and everybody's having fun, and it's just the people on Twitter and the guys, the announcers and stuff, the Brian Burks of the world, that had a problem with it. I have no problem with this at all. I think, um, I don't know if other teams would necessarily implement something like this because it's kind of the Canes thing at this point. But if another team comes out and does something, maybe not even necessarily a post-game celebration, but another way of interaction with their fans, and if people have problems with it, like you're just hating at that point. Like, it's dumb to me. I really hate it. I genuinely hated it. Like, it's I swear there's just people that just hate having fun in hockey. Like, they just don't want fun to be a part of the game. Everything has to be serious. Again, like the cliche, like the interview's got to be serious. Like, oh, pucks in deep. My teammates, a great group of guys in the room. That's one that's used all the time. There's a great group of guys in the room. It's all that bullshit. Like, hockey is so cliche at this point. Like, with all this stuff, like, it's I love hockey. Don't get me wrong, but sometimes I hate the ideas of it. I really do. It's these old heads who think the game should still be played without helmets, and CTE isn't a thing. It's all those guys that are saying that the fucking celebrations are bullshit. I never liked Brian Burke and will never like him, but this
hashtag fuck Brian Burke.
but
let's get it trending, boys.
More. It really, like, he's old, like, and I know I'm kind of going off track here, but they always one of my favorite things the whole hockey year is the trade deadline day.
Oh my god! Do you know how much fun we had last year? Oh my god!
Yeah, it's one of the best days in the hockey season for me, and they had almost every year they did this on TSN, which is basically the Canadian Sports Center. They would bring Brian Burke on every year. It was almost a running joke, and every year he would just be so negative. And this was when obviously he was a GM, and he'd be like, yeah, he would just be so negative, and he wouldn't answer like he was just that stereotypical douchebag of a interview. I just never liked him, but yeah, he's kind of been the proponent of this. I don't see the problem with it. I really don't. The fans are having fun. It's all about one of the biggest things for me is atmosphere. Unfortunately, I shouldn't say unfortunately, but being the teams that my favorite teams are not, besides the 76ers, are not based in this area. So when I go to games, I'm not a part of that atmosphere, and I gotta say, I really miss that. Like, atmosphere, like an atmosphere of a game can make it like incredible, even if the game sucks. Like, I truly believe that. And the Canes celebration, it's a great atmosphere in that rink. Nobody should have a problem with it, but they will because it's hockey.
What's the difference between something like this and the Chiefs doing the tomahawk chop, or any college team doing the tomahawk chop, or the Vikings having the whatever what's the clap thing called, the Viking thing?
Well, that was originally from the Iceland national soccer team. I don't. It's like Skull or something.
Yeah. What the hell is the difference between what they're doing here and like what they're doing? Again, it's two different sports that I'm comparing. But, I mean, the NFL seems to embrace these type of things. Fans seem to embrace these type of things. But I guess it kind of goes back to what you said about the whole white men here in Hockey Town. sitting over here being like, yeah, no, we can't change the way of the game. It has to be total serious all the time, run and gun. Yeah. You're not allowed to celebrate winning the Stanley Cup. You know what you should do? Every you win a Stanley Cup, you just go back into the locker room and plan the next game 4 months from now. So, I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. To me, this is a no-brainer to me at this point in time. The game's changing. You cannot stop it from changing, and I'm here for it.
I think it's dumb, like I said, that people hate it, but that's just the way of the world. It really is. But yeah, if other sports or even other teams in the NHL did something like that, like I said, it's all for the fans. At the end of the day, that's what it's for. That's what the Hurricanes are not doing this for themselves or to get publicity. They're doing it for the fans in the arena. And I don't think anybody should have a problem with it. People are saying, "Oh, it's cringy, it's childish, blah blah blah." Get over it. It's like talk about growing the game. You want to grow the game, kids going to these hockey games, seeing this, and it's a fun thing. You can't tell me that it's bad for the game, and you can't change my mind on that. There's nothing wrong with this. But anyway, we'll move on. God, fucking the hockey community gives me headaches sometimes.
It's toxic, isn't it?
It is. Toxic. It really is. But we're gonna move on to Brendy's segment.
Dude, literally any community. Hold on, let me say this real quick before we move on. Yeah. Any community that has more than 100 people gets toxic. It's. Any community, you name it gets toxic when it grows to have a large amount of people.
And I know I keep saying this, but it really is the way of the world. It's just how things are now. I can go on a rant about this. The age of social media. I'm not doing it now because it'll take a long time.
Age of social media, yes. Fuck it. Moving on.
It's very toxic. Anyway, Brendy, in case you missed it.
This happened this actually happened today. I didn't have this story for yesterday, but I am glad that I got it today. And I'm sure you guys have heard, the 2019 Hall of Fame is out for Major League Baseball.
I have seen it. Well, I've seen some of the guys I got in, yes.
Yep, and of course, for, the 7th or 8th straight year, Barry Bonds is not in it.
He's close.
He's
closer.
He's close, but I would have to say, with the way his vote has been trending, he's probably not going to get in, at least with his remaining eligibility. So anyway, the Hall of Fame class of 2019 did have a couple notable. It did have a couple notable entries. Most importantly, Mariano Rivera becomes the first unanimous Hall of Famer.
I agree with this. He's, in my opinion, he's the most iconic and probably the best closer in baseball history, in my opinion.
Yep, and he is past Ken Griffey Jr., who I think Ken Griffey Jr. was had the highest percentage before he did. Mm-hmm. And I'm just pulling up the complete results right now. It started out with Mariano Rivera, and then Roy Halladay, Edgar Martinez, and Mike Mussina in the top four, and then some other.
Can we stop on Roy Halladay real quick and just?
Well, I was just gonna stop on that because I'm not a Phillies fan, but being from the Philadelphia area and his time with the Phillies and obviously the tragic events that happened a few months ago, that was a cool one to see for sure.
Yeah, I'm happy for him, man. Never forget Doc, man. That was a tragic day, very sad day. Me and my roommate, big Phillies fans, and it was just watched him for a long time, man.
So according to MLB.com, a total of 425 ballots were cast. Those were all the Hall of Fame voters, and you need 319 to get in the Hall of Fame, essentially. Mm-hmm. So those are the four that got in, And there are some pretty notable people, like I said, Barry Bonds. Also, Roger Clemens did not get in. And a lot of people like to compare Barry Bonds and Roger Clemens together, saying how they both deserve to be in the Hall because of the... but, they're not in because of the whole steroid thing.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I hate Roger Clemens. I hate. He was the clip I'll always remember him is Mike Piazza breaks his bat, but he was just swinging. He broke his bat. It goes to Roger Clemens. He fires the bat back at him. It was Piazza's fault. I've always had a hate for Roger Clemens. I never liked him when he played. So, fuck him.
So there are some other notable names that were not included. I'm looking at the bottom of the list, and these are some big names. The very bottom of the list, Andrew Jones. He only received 32 votes out of 425 for the Hall of Fame. Now, I will say this Hall of Fame class was really good, all things considered. So I can understand. Maybe this isn't the year for Andrew Jones. I personally think he deserves. I think he's one of the most underrated players in MLB history. And obviously, I'm probably biased.
I was gonna say that.
Well, no. Hear me out. Andrew Jones, he has the stats to back it up and the accolades. So I don't know. I think he should get more than 32 votes out of 425. But we'll see. But it's only his second year. He's got time to grow that.
Yeah.
And another name, Sammy Sosa, not included.
I mean, it's the same thing. It's the steroids. It's
But
we
what
talked about this the other
happened to
day.
him recently?
That's.
Oh my
okay,
God!
Hang on. All right, but the gap between Sammy Sosa and Barry Bonds is huge. So Barry Bonds has 251 votes. Sammy Sosa, 36. That's a 200 vote gap almost.
And I think, but I also think that's because, in my opinion, Barry Bonds was the better player. But they both were took steroids. I mean, we did just talk about this last week, so I'm going to keep this brief. But yeah, I mean, I'm in the opinion that that these guys should be getting in. But baseball, the committee likes, as you said last week, they're kind of I would almost say
the committee is very old school.
Yeah, they're very anti that steroid era of baseball, and will these guys ever get in? I don't. Personally, they probably won't, just because the committee is not going to change their mind on this. But
with Barry Bonds, with his first year of eligibility, he received about, I want to say like 32 or 33% of the vote, something like that. He's up to 59 now, and this was his 7th year, so he's got 3 more years to get in. Is there enough? Do you think he would have enough votes, or do you think he could grab enough votes to get to that, I guess, 319 threshold, or whatever it'll be in the future?
That's a tough call. I personally don't think so. I just don't see things changing. And also, obviously, there's going to be, this is an obvious point, but there's going to be more people eligible, coming up. In the coming years, I personally don't think he gets in. Obviously he did take steroids, and I mean, technically he wasn't caught. We already know this, but come on now.
Right.
It's unfortunate. Because like I said, at the time it was legal. So, but yeah, I don't think he gets in.
All right, and then there are just 2 more couple notable people. Kurt Schilling did not get in. As well as Larry Walker.
Kurt Schilling, another dickhead.
And Manny Ramirez as well, 3rd-year eligibility. I think Ramirez will eventually get in.
Yeah, I think so.
But not yet.
Yeah.
All right. All right. Let's go ahead and move on to a little bit more of a lighthearted topic. So, just in case you guys, I'm sure you guys are familiar with the. I'm sure you guys are familiar with the popular meat company known as Oscar Mayer.
I know where this is going.
Yeah, I'm sure you do. Okay. So every year, a select group of people who submit applications can apply to drive what is known as the Wienermobile.
Oh my god. Okay.
And
All right.
and so you might be asking, okay, how do I get a job with Oscar Mayer driving as, a hot dogger, as they call it? That's
A hot-
not
excuse
a
me?
wiener, a hot dogger. So how do you get a job? Well, you can simply go to the website and what are some of the benefits you can get there? Well, you get a competitive salary, which, by the way, I really hate it when applications say competitive salary, because it's like, okay, that doesn't answer my question. You have an opportunity to work in a traveling public relations firm, experience in self-management, and a company car guaranteed to turn heads.
I like how they have company car for that. That's
Yep.
funny.
Yep. So I have a couple questions for you guys. Well, let me get to the point. So they accept applications basically every year, and it's a very small select group of people of about like 8 or 9 people. So first of all, would you guys be interested in being a hot dogger?
Absolutely.
No question in my
Not
mind.
even a question. Yes, I would love to drive the
Absolute-
Oscar Mayer
And
Wienermobile.
do explain.
If it doesn't have the horn, I don't want it.
Dude, why would you not want to drive the Oscar Mayer Wienermobile?
Now, Zach, I gotta ask a question, and I'm pretty sure I know the answer to this. Does your pride take a hit when you drive that?
No.
I knew that was coming.
It soars, my dude.
All right, I'd do it. Why not?
All right, and then question number 2: have you guys ever seen the Wienermobile in real life before?
No.
Yes.
Not in real life, no.
Zach
have.
says the
Where
most
at, Zach?
enthusiastic yes.
LeBron James.
Yes.
Yes.
Where exactly did you say?
I was going to downtown Atlanta. I don't remember why, and I just saw it on the interstate.
That's awesome.
Dude, that's actually really
Did you
cool.
did you ask it for its autograph, or like what'd you do?
Yeah, I got out of my car on the interstate and asked for an autograph.
And in case you guys are interested, here's the application. It's a real application. You can
Oh my god!
either mail
look
it
at
in
this
or send an email.
monstrosity.
I'm filling it out right now.
So it's located in Verona, Wisconsin. So
Oh my god! I
let me know.
hate the first question. Can we just sit on this for a second? Hold on a second. I want to briefly look through this application.
Want a
What job?
you can
Oh my
relish.
god.
Want a job you can relish is the first question. Wait, actually, can I turn on the voiceover voice request and just read this real quick? I'll be quick, I promise. All right,
Okay.
hold on. Do you have an appetite for adventure, a friendly personality, and boundless enthusiasm? Do you want to represent the Oscar Mayer brand as a goodwill ambassador through radio and television appearances, newspapers, interviews, grocery store, military visits, and charity functions? If the answer is yes, you, Zach Wine, can qualify to be an official Oscar Mayer hot dogger.
I don't know who Zach Wieting
okay.
is.
I said
Yeah, I
Wieting.
was about to say.
I said Wieting.
Okay. No, you did
I did.
not.
You
did
said
not.
you
I
No
did.
way.
not.
No, I did. I
No,
did that
Three
time.
against. So they're against.
I did
one
that.
so
No,
far.
I made sure this time that I said it.
But you didn't.
I did though.
Our next big topic this week, or next week.
I do want to be the
Bobby
Oscar Mayer
Morrison
Wienermobile.
I
Get
this
Zach's
time.
last name
This time I know I did it right. This time.
Anyway, I mean, we
Wait,
all
it's only
don't
1
have
year.
it.
It's only 1 year. Wait, what?
Yeah, that's the point.
Yeah,
of it.
Applicants should have a BA or BS.
That's
Well,
fine.
yeah, but it's so degrees in communications, advertisement, journalism. It's like, man, that's kind of a select group of people. So I'm like, well, I can't. Do
I like
that
how you don't
shit.
even have like you don't need like a CDL to drive this thing. You need a degree in public relations, journalism, or communications. Like not even like a truck driver's license.
truck in my life, but I have a 4-year
Yeah, exactly. But like what? I love this. Okay, everything about this is it.
Do you even need a driver's license?
Also,
for this?
the
Like,
last
I'm
question
looking,
on here
it
is-
does not say a requirement.
The last question on here is: do you cut the mustard?
Well,
All right. Yeah, I don't know if I can apply for this.
Do you
guys.
cut the mustard? Excuse me? That's a... I'll take my mustard chopped, chef. No, sir. That's not even a good pun.
All right. Well, let's go ahead and move on, boys.
All right, and we'll finish up the show. Well, we'll have a Zach's track of the week as well, but we're gonna finish up the show with, as promised, the our little Super Bowl preview here and predictions.
Let's go.
By the way, off topic. You know, I was gonna add this to the list this week. About how I think the NCAA poll is like corrupt for the, basketball. But after losing, Michigan barely escaped a loss again this week. They just hit a buzzer beater, and of course I missed the game. Thanks, you fucks. Anyway, we're gonna move on. Super Bowl preview: Patriots versus Rams. First thoughts. How can you bet against the Patriots at this point? Can you not? I'm trying to talk and I can't think.
That's the point. You don't think to begin with.
But the opening line for this game is Patriots -2. Or they're a 2-point favorite.
That's
I
what
should
it is.
say.
Okay.
Yeah, they're a 2-point favorite. So, I mean, here we are again. The Patriots are in the Super Bowl, and it's Belichick and Brady, and on the other side, it's funny because it's Belichick and Brady. You know, Brady being as old as he is, and Belichick, and on the other side you have Sean McVay, who's like what, 33 or 34.
Yeah,
I think he
youngest
turns 30. I think he turns like 34 today or something.
Okay.
And then Jared Goff, who is a youngin himself. I think I read this, like, this is the largest gap between quarterbacks and like Super Bowl history, I believe, which is kind of interesting. But it's, you know, it's the experience versus inexperience. The Patriots have been 3 years in a row, 4 out of the last 6. You know what? As I'm talking here, I'm really, really, really surprised Zach hasn't butted in and said something about, like, fuck the Patriots. So, good job, Zach. You're holding yourself back.
I mean, I just assumed that was the group consensus, other than Bobby, who's a fake fan because he lives near Philly.
Are you, bro? Oh, no! Hold on a second. Now
Oh my God!
Now you dead done
it.
it.
Clip that.
You listen to me, you sack of shit.
You've got to clip that, Bob.
You sack of shit. This is coming from the same dude who doesn't pay attention to the Falcons unless they're in the playoffs. And this is the same dude who was retweeting a bunch of crap during the Super Bowl and then got their ass handed to him when they were up 28-3.
I'm a casual fan. I've admitted this before.
Casual fan. That is putting it. That
Hey, at
that
least
is
I
actually
live in the
giving you
city
way
of the
too
team
much
that I go
credit.
for.
That is giving you way too much credit. Oh, God.
Oh my God!
fan.
The shade.
I knew that was gonna.
I will
break
tweet
out.
the picture of me, of like 2-year-old me in a Bledsoe jersey, because I remember the sacrifice that he gave to give us Tom Brady.
I'm writing this down on my little notepad here.
Nowhere in this have I heard that I
live.
live in Boston and I deserve to go for the Patriots.
I mean, yeah, but you say that, but like I like the Broncos, the Sharks. Like it's not.
Hey Ty, why aren't you defending me here? First of all.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, you're wrong for that. You're wrong for that. Go
yeah.
for the city that you live in.
Yeah, but Philadelphia sucks. Why would I do that?
I mean, no, Philadelphia doesn't suck. I love where I live, but I was raised as a Patriots
the
fan.
city in general.
No, not the city. The teams.
Yeah, I don't want to hear about. I don't want to
The
hear.
teams are good.
Oh, Philadelphia sucks, even though our team just won the Super Bowl last year.
I didn't mean. I'm talking about the fans suck. Like they're. Well, I'm not getting on this again, but they're out of control. Yeah, but I will say Bobby's been a Patriots fan his whole life. His dad was a Patriots fan.
Yeah, the Patriots have been in the playoffs every season since Bobby was born. I don't want to hear that shit.
You're goddamn right we were, and we're not done, boy.
You know what's funny too? Like literally, like right before Bobby was born, the Patriots were god awful. Like it
Well,
was like
that's the thing. So that's the thing. If you ask my dad why he became a Patriots fan, because he grew up in Southwest Philadelphia, like so he's been in Philly his whole life too. But his whole thing is that he always used to root for the underdog. And back then,
Yeah.
that's exactly what the Patriots were. They sucked. They were terrible.
It's funny too because like Brady ended up obviously being the quarterback and he was a Michigan guy. Is that why your dad likes Michigan?
No,
Is 'cause Brady or?
no, Michigan for the jerseys. And
Dude,
I don't
I've
even-
been
I don't
rooting for
even
the
think-
Warriors since like 2008 when they were at the bottom of the league. Like,
yeah.
I'm
serious.
sure.
No, I'm serious.
Oh,
like
God.
I stated, I remember in 8th grade, I asked my friend. I was not a basketball fan, but I wanted to get into it. I was like, all right, what team is the worst team in the NBA right now? He's like, right now it's the Golden State Warriors. He's like, all right, I'm going to stick with them until they win it. And look at them now.
How times have changed. Jesus
And
Christ.
can you name anybody on that team besides Steph Curry and Kevin Durant?
No.
Nope. Yep, that's what I thought.
All right. So back on track here.
Wait, hold on. Go back to the question.
What question? Oh, did you cut out or something? The question was, can you name anybody on that team whose name isn't Steph Curry or Kevin Durant?
Oh, yeah. Klay Thompson.
Okay.
Okay.
The
Anybody
Marcus,
else?
the Marcus Cousins.
Okay.
Okay. Keep going.
Who's your coach?
I don't know who the coach is.
Oh my god.
Come on, man. Steve Kerr.
Oh yeah,
Um,
I do know who this coach is. My bad.
Oh yeah.
Put me
Yeah,
on the
that's
spot.
right.
Put me on
That's
the
right.
spot.
You told me the answer. Now I know. You're right. It was this thing.
Bro, I know who Steve Kerr is. He played with Michael Jordan. I'm not a fucking retard.
Ugh.
Oh god.
Okay, well he does know that.
That's good.
Good for him. Good. You know what? Good for you.
Anyway, let's actually do the fucking preview here. So
I don't know, man. Can we just give our scores now?
I'm about ready for it. I mean, there's not much else to add. I mean, this is the kind of like I said, it's the inexperience versus
Can
the
we
experience.
acknowledge it's going to be a good game? Like it's
Oh,
it's
yeah.
gonna be a good
I
game.
hope, yeah. I mean, you hope for that every year. I mean, it just so happens I'm a Broncos fan. But you know, even if I wasn't a Broncos fan, that year they got blown out in the Super Bowl. That had to be one of the worst Super Bowls.
You were
ever.
at my house.
I was very upset.
Yeah, you know what? I'll give you credit though because you held it in for most of the time. I don't know if that was just because we were family or whatever, but you held it in for quite a bit. But as soon as the clock hit 0, that hat went flying. Like it.
Oh yeah, it was gone.
Bad. But then you won Super Bowl 50.
2 years later.
That
yeah.
was a Super
No,
Bowl I switched to. I was rooting for in the middle of the game because I got mad at Cam Newton.
That's right. That's
Well,
funny.
because I was,
No,
I
like
I was high on him, and then the fumble happened, and I was like, okay, yeah, go Broncos, let's go.
one thing that's going to be interesting about this game that I talked about earlier is what's going on with Todd Gurley. You know, he did not play much. He did not play much. I think, you know, is he going to be good enough? Because he's their impact player on offense. You know that you get the running game going, you get the passing game going. Especially, it has to be the way because let me put it to you this way: if they can't run the ball, Belichick and they're gonna shut Goff down. And I said this on the preview, or I'm sorry, the recap from earlier. Belichick and the Patriots has been doing this for years. They shut down the top receiver on the other team. In this case, it's Brandon Cooks. And I guarantee, especially with him being an ex-Patriot, by the way, I guarantee they shut him down. I would say 3 catches maximum. And that's generous. They will shut him down. But they got to get Gurley going so they can open up the pass game. As for the Patriots, don't change anything. I mean, that's just what it is. But yeah, let's get to our predictions here. I guess we'll start with the guy with the horse in the race. Is that the right term?
Yeah, no, you got it. I think that's
Okay.
that's good. If it's not exactly how you say it, it still makes sense.
Anyway, Bobby, go ahead. What's your prediction?
I got to go with the Pats, man. I mean, listen, my original prediction was Chiefs-Rams. I doubted, a lot. I saw the flaws of my own team, and I didn't think they were going to be enough to stop Mahomes. I turned out to be completely wrong about that. It was still a shootout of a game. I'm not going to say the secondary saved everything, but it was a shootout nonetheless, and we ended up coming out on
the
top.
Patriots won because of bullshit overtime rules, but we'll get to that.
I honestly am for the overtime rules, but we can save that for another conversation.
Absolutely.
Yep. So, I gotta go on my Pats here, of course. I mean, I don't think anybody would expect anything less from me. I've been high on Gurley, I think all year. I wasn't high on the Rams, as Tyler has pointed out to me numerous times over the past couple of days. That I was not high on the Rams, but I was definitely high on Todd Gurley, and as a proud fantasy owner of him in 2 leagues, he paid dividends and then some. He paid dividends and then some. He's scary, dude. I mean, he's the guy who's going to cut through this defensive line like butter. So, if he gets shut down or if he's hurt, then the Rams have the biggest uphill battle against them. Brady is Brady as usual. Edelman's still the guy in the middle, just catching the most ridiculous, passes that are being thrown to him. Gronk with his new role of kind of being an offensive lineman, and on top of that, still being able to be the tight end that just has the hands of a god. I can't go against them anymore. I'll say this. I got the Pats, and I got them winning 27-17. If Todd Gurley's hurt and is either sidelined or just shut down completely, if Todd Gurley's in it, I got it being close. I got it 27-24.
Zach, how about you? Let Zach give his prediction.
I mean, dude, honestly, score prediction, I don't know, but honestly, I'd bet on the Patriots.
yeah. All right, Brendy, go ahead.
Well, I was just gonna say the whole being hurt thing definitely does not help the Rams case at all. I will say New England. It's kind of funny. New England looks like they are potentially beatable this year, but I feel like they always play that card really well, and when you think you can beat them, they end up blowing you out. No. So I will say that whole Todd Gurley thing is a factor, a big factor. So I'm not gonna have it as not blowout, but I'm not gonna have it as a 10-point difference like Bobby does. I'm gonna keep it a little bit closer. I'm gonna say the Patriots are gonna win 34-28.
Man. I will say this about the Patriots. They play their best football in January and February, and God, it is hard to root against them.
Hell?
What?
Did you get hungry and decide to eat your mic there, dude?
What just happened? Anyway, no, I think.
Sorry, was it that loud?
Yes.
I just bumped my mic against something.
Yes, it sounded like you were just
it was a big deal.
It sounded like you got a fork and knife and started cutting it and about to eat it. Honestly.
Sorry.
Man, God, it's so hard to go against the Patriots.
I'm really sorry.
But no, you're good. I'm
really sorry.
I'm gonna be the outlier here. I'm gonna go with the team that I predict, and I know I keep saying it, but I did predict the Rams to win the Super Bowl at the beginning of the year.
Congratulations.
I'm gonna go with them. Fuck you. I'm gonna go with them. 31-27.
Okay.
And as a Broncos fan, it would be cool to see C.J. Anderson.
Oh, how nice it would be to see the Patriots lose 2 years in a row.
Oh, I mean, look, Bobby, I love you, and I hate hating the Patriots because you like them, but fuck the Patriots, man. I'm so tired.
I don't take it personally. I know.
Tyler, I just want to say, I remember watching Super Bowl 48.
Don't do it to me, Brendy.
No. Hear me out. So I was like, okay, this game, it was what was it, 15 or 15-0, something like that.
After the first 5 or whatever, it was early. Yeah, it was 15.
I just remember when it became 22-0 at halftime. I was like, all right, I'm gonna go get some Five Guys, and I stopped watching.
You telling me you went and missed the commercials though, man?
Yeah, I didn't. For some reason that year, I was just really uninterested in the NFL, and that might just have been because of the Falcons, but yeah, I was out, completely tuned out of that game.
When I'll say 2 things about when my team's in the Super Bowl, and but it doesn't affect Bobby because his team's in the Super Bowl every other year. But I don't remember a single commercial for the 2 years that the Broncos were in the Super Bowl because when they were at commercial, I was just sweating bullets. Like,
Oh yeah.
it was, or I mean, in the first case of 48, I was just fucking pouting. But yeah, Super Bowl 50, man, I was fucking.
I wish you guys would have seen me during Atlanta, New England. The way my roommate described it, it sounded like I just watched like somebody shoot my dog in front of me for a little while. Like
Jesus.
Like it.
Wow.
I was just not happy. I had those exact same feelings. I mean, obviously, what happened then happens. Ty, you asked me this off air, but you asked me about how is it boring to be a Patriots fan, just because of how 8 straight, like almost a decade, and my answer to that was no. It's not boring. It's always fun to see the team win. It becomes a sense of complacency where you're not worried about the team being terrible. Like, the Flyers, I have to, pray, say 5 Hail Marys and 7 Our Fathers for them to win a game against the worst team in the league. But
well, this year they are the worst.
They are.
So you don't have to worry about it.
They have to keep fighting with the Devils for it. But, it just got complacent. It's something I just never had to worry about. There will come a time where I'm gonna have to start worrying about it like everybody else.
When Brady retires.
Yep. Even if Brady retires, until Belichick's gone too.
When Bill dies, maybe.
And Bill will still be coaching from the coffin and still be taking over the NFL. Like, well, let's be honest here. It's a sense of complacency, and I'm gonna continue to sit on top of on the high throne here until the end of that era. But yeah, I just wanted to mention that real quick because it was something that you asked off air, but I thought was still an interesting kind of question.
All right, 3 votes for the Patriots, 1 for the Rams. We will see how things play out. Exciting times.
Can I add one other poll for us real quick?
Okay.
So I mentioned the commercials earlier. I'm a big fan of the Super Bowl commercials every year. I mean, I would hope that if you're paying $5 million for a 30-second spot, that you got something good. What brand do we think is going to have one of the better commercials, like a funniest or best commercial? What brand? Who are we thinking?
And any beer commercial.
Yeah, but
Doritos are always good.
Yeah, Doritos ones have been good.
Doritos. I would have to say like any like Bud commercial probably tops the list.
If they keep the Bud Night thing going, I'm all for it already.
But the Bud it was Budweiser, right? They had that sad puppy commercial one year.
Yes.
About like that that shit.
Stop.
Don't do that to me. Don't do that to me.
What is the commercial trying to say there? Drink to forget your dead puppy?
Yeah. you just killed. You just took Old Yeller on the back lawn and ended his life. Now you need a nice cold beer to relax yourself with. Introducing Budweiser.
Budweiser, forget your dog.
Oh my god, I'm not gonna stop laughing at that. Alright, we need to move on because I'm gonna start crying at laughter in a second. We're gonna end this show.
You never forget
quickly.
the noise he made.
Shut the fuck up. With Zach's track of the week. We will link it in the description of the video, but Zach, go ahead.
This week's track of the week is a electronic funk song called Too Late by Daily Bread. It's like
Daily Bread.
That's the name of the artist, man. It's underground as fuck.
No, it's
Give
funny.
us this day.
9 Our Fathers.
No, but the song it's like a combination of, like I said, funk and like modern electronic. So it has like, just listen to it. I don't know how to describe it.
So here's the thing.
I should say Daily Bread is also an Atlanta native, I believe.
Here's the thing, though. I can't listen to it because I have celiac disease. So like, I'm just gonna avoid this track altogether.
Okay.
Yeah, the song is gluten free.
His name is Daily Bread. If I don't see Daily Gluten Free Bread in his name.
Yeah,
like,
Daily Gluten Free Bread.
You're such a fucking nerd. You know that? Alright, we're gonna end the show. That was a fun one. Glad to have everybody back for at least the second part of the episode. But we will end it there. If you want to reach us, as always, we have our Twitter. Jesus fucking Christ. Come Play Network.
Today, Junior.
Today, Junior. And if you liked the video, Please give it a like, subscribe if you enjoyed and have been enjoying our episodes. And we will see you next week for episode 19 of the Come Play Podcast.
Peace.
Peace.